We're picking up the chapter 14 audio lecture where I left off a little bit ago, talking primarily about love and relationships. One of the best descriptions of the common types of arguments that occur between husband and wife was by a man named Dr. Eggerichs. And he wrote about this extensively in his book, Love and Respect. I'm going to share that briefly here. Eggerichs puts forward that women, more than anything else in their lives, need, or more than anything else from their husbands, need love. This is both cultural and biological. The language that women learn to speak is a love language, and so by definition, that type of love is accepting. Women need their husbands to accept them as they are, to approve of the things that they do, of the way that they are, and they need that love to be unconditional. Men are slightly different because of our cultural conditioning and our biology as well. Men need respect from their lives. They need to feel that their wives respect them and behave respectfully toward them. This isn't the old school, respect your master or respect your king. It's just respect me as a man. And so when we look at the definition of respect, what it feels like is love, but the language is slightly different. So I need you to accept me as a man. I need you to approve of what I do as a man, how I think as a man, and I need your respect unconditionally. I don't need doubts and disrespectful comments coming my way. Further, he goes and says, men, by their nature, by their cultural conditioning, tend to view themselves as protectors of their domain. Think of a lord of a kingdom. That my family, my home, my career, all of that is protecting my kingdom with walls and locks. And then, of course, protecting individuals within that kingdom from outside enemies, from outside harm. Women, cultural conditioning, biology, are very good at nurturing relationships. And so while the man is protecting the walls and the kingdom as a whole, the woman very often sees herself as protecting each individual relationship. So the woman is keeping tabs on, how am I getting along with my husband? Is he getting along with me? How is my husband getting along with the children? How are my children getting along with each other? So she's kind of, in a sense, micromanaging each of those relationships, while the husband is macro-managing the entire family. This can create some issues, because in her role, in a man's role, my job is to make sure that no one breaks into the house. So if I hear loud sounds outside the house, my alarm goes off and I check. Women, because they're protecting individual relationships, their alarms are set a little bit differently. So when there's bad feelings between husband and wife, her alarm goes off. And so by our nature, when women perceive that there's something wrong with the loving feelings of her husband toward her, she reacts. And her reaction very often comes out disrespectfully in his ears. Her intent is not to disrespect. Her intent is to check, is to reestablish closeness, is to reestablish intimacy, the friendship intimacy within the relationship. However, what he often hears is disrespect. And when a man feels disrespected, his reaction is generally harsh and maybe accusatory, certainly defensive. And so when she feels he has acted in an unloving way, without love, she reacts in a way that he feels is disrespectful, to which he reacts without love, with a maybe less than loving comeback. So play it out here. He's 20 minutes late coming home from work. She's been cooking. She's talked to him about it before, that she needs him to call her if he's going to be late, but he doesn't call. He walks in 20 minutes late, and her alarm has said, well, that was an unloving thing to do. I need to check and see how he's doing, and if he's upset with me or angry in some way. So she comes, meets him at the door, and her reaction is, where were you? I've told you that I need you to call me before, if you're going to be late. Well, what does he hear? Where did she think I was? I was at work. Why is she meeting me at the door with an accusation? What does she think I was doing? Stopping off at the bar? Having an affair? Well, that's disrespectful. And so his reaction is, varied. Leave me alone. The traffic was bad. Where do you think I was? I was at work. I stopped off to get some gas or whatever. But that sounds very unloving. And so she says, uh-oh, there really is a problem. He's not happy with me. He's not happy with the relationship. And so she comes back with, what do you mean, leave you alone? Da, 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 da. We've talked about this before, which he uses disrespectful, and they go around and around and around, escalating in their unloving and disrespectful comments towards each other, and very often stay there. Eckrich called that the crazy cycle. And last point, he said, human beings by their nature will make mistakes, and their reactions are very often learned scripts that they've acquired over a lifetime. So it's going to be hard to censor those. But he said every once in a while, the wife will be really, really on, and when she understands, she will monitor her reaction and ensure that it comes out in a way that he perceives as respectful. So when she's on and he's off, he's grumpy, he's had a bad day, he doesn't call her, he's 25 minutes late, and she meets him at the door and she says, man, you must have had a really hard day at work, honey. I appreciate you. Why don't you go get ready for dinner? I've got it ready to put on the table, and after dinner I'll give you a back rub to help you relax. Well, he feels respected, he feels appreciated, he feels understood, and his reaction probably later is to say, I love you, honey, I really appreciate you, and have a good evening. And all she needed to do, and she'll even be able to bring it up later. She'll be able to say, hey, by the way, I was a little bit concerned, I freak out, I was about to call the hospitals, I know I'm weird, but please will you go ahead and give me a call next time when you're going to be late, just a quick text. And he says, sure, honey, everything's fine. Let's reverse it. Say she's having an off day, she's upset and frustrated, and she does meet him at the door after the 25-minute lateness and says, where were you? I thought you were da-da-da-da-da. When he's on and he understands this cycle and he wants to preserve the good evening, he will, even though he feels disrespected, he will read between the lines. He'll see where she's coming from. She's protecting the relationship. She's not against me. She's for me and for us. And he might be able to say something like, honey, you're right. I had a long day. I stopped off to get some gas. I got caught up in what I was listening to on the radio, and I didn't call you. I should have remembered. That wasn't very loving of me. I love you, and I apologize. Can you give me, I'll do better next time. Evening saved. It takes a while to practice that, but it's pretty powerful when it works. I can tell you from experience. I'm going to cut here and keep them short, and I'll start again on the next slide.